Hello students, in this video we're going to discuss chapter number 18, Wastewater Story. We know that there is a term called water pollution. When the water present on earth in the oceans, seas, rivers, lakes, ponds and under the ground gets contaminated, it is termed as water pollution. The contamination of water results in a change in its physical, biological and chemical properties and hence makes it unsafe for drinking or uses of other purposes. The substances that cause water pollution are called water pollutants. The pollution of water can lead to serious effects such as diseases and effect on the ecosystem of a region and loss of aquatic life. Major water pollutants are sewage. It is a massive amount of wastewater or sewage is dumped into water bodies such as rivers and seas, which pollutes their fresh water and makes it inappropriate for any kind of consumption due to the rise of several bacteria and other microorganisms. It not only affects the aquatic life of the water body but also leads to severe diseases like cholera, diarrhea and typhoid. And the next pollutant is the industrial chemical waste. Harmful chemicals such as lead and mercury are often dumped by industries into the water bodies directly, which contaminate their water. And the next pollutant is agricultural effluents. Fertilizers, pesticides, insecticides and farm waste are often washed off by the rain to the water bodies and contaminate the water. And the next pollutant is the oil spills. Oil spills often occur due to accidents and leakage of oil in the sea, which leads to the loss of aquatic life. Next pollutant is the thermal waste. Thermal industries often spill warm water in the water bodies, which decreases its oxygen content. It also leads to a rise in temperature of water, which is not suitable for aquatic animals. And the last one is the suspended solids. They come from soil erosion, untreated sewage and mining. These suspended pollutants block the sunlight from reaching the aquatic plants and animals. Let's see what is wastewater. The water that has been used and is not for using again is called wastewater. It is dirty water from the laundry, toilets, sinks and drains. We all need clean water, however, not all can access the same. Hence, it is necessary not only to preserve water but clean the used water before dumping it into the seas or any other water body. This is why the United Nations proclaimed the period between 2005 and 2015 as the International Decade for Action on Water for Life. What do you mean by cleaning of water? In order to understand this, let's discuss a process known as sewage treatment. It is a process in which all the pollutants from the water are removed before the water reaches a water body or before it is used again. As we know earlier also, what is sewage? It is the wastewater from house, offices, industries, hospitals, and other sources. Rainwater that flows into the drains during heavy rainfalls is also sewage because it contains pollutants that it washes off from the roads. Any liquid waste can be called sewage. Sewage water contains impurities mixed into it as well as some suspended pollutants. These impurities present in the sewage are called contaminants as they contaminate the water. Water freshens up an eventful journey. Let's see the first some sewer, large and small pipes that are installed in buildings to carry sewage water and sewers. Sewage is a network of transport system consisting of sewers. It carries sewage water from the point where it is produced to the point where it is disposed, that is the treatment plant. It consists of manholes that are located at every 50 to 60 meters. The manholes are installed at a point where two or more sewers intersect or change their directions. Every locality has a system that allows removal of waste from the house and industries. Let's see the wastewater treatment plant. Wastewater includes biological, physical, and chemical matter and hence involves biological, physical, and chemical processes of removal of the contaminants. The physical and biological process of treatment of water. Under this, the first step is the separation of large objects from sewage water. The wastewater is first passed through bar screens which remove big objects from the water like plastic bottles, napkins, rags, canes and sticks. And the next step is the separation of sand and dirt. The wastewater is then sent to a grid and sand removal tank. The speed of the water is decreased at this step. This allows the sand, dirt, and pebbles to settle down. And the next step is the removal of solids. In this process, the water cycles in a tank called clarifier, which is slop in the center. This lets the solids like phases to settle at the bottom. This is called sleds. Let's see the picture of the sleds. Here is the picture. The sludge is then separated from the water with the help of a scraper. Substances like oil and grease are removed with the help of a skimmer as they float above the water in this step. In this step, clarified water is obtained. The sludge so obtained is passed into a tank where an aerobic bacteria can decompose it and produce biogas. The biogas is then used as a fuel. And the next step is the suspended sludge removal. The clarified water also needs to be cleaned further, hence it is moved to an aerator that pumps air into it. This allows aerobic bacteria to grow in this water. The aerobic bacteria consume organic waste, soaps, food waste and other elements that remain in the clarified water. This water is allowed to settle for several hours, and then this waste material settle down in the tank. This is called activated sludge. The water is removed from the top of this sludge with the help of a machine or sand drying beds. The sludge is then dried and can be used as manure. This treated water contains fewer amount of impurities and suspended matter. This water is safe to dump into a water body or under the ground. Hence, it is then discharged into a sea, river, or underground. Nature further cleans it up. We should adopt better housekeeping practices and become an active citizen. We should try to reduce the waste that produce in our households so that there is not much pressure on WWTP. It is often difficult to clean tons of wastewater. The sewage water can cause several problems such as harmful diseases, unhygienic and unsanitary conditions in the locality. Hence, we can be more considerate about producing a limited amount of waste, and we can accomplish this by adopting better housekeeping practices. Also, we can become an active citizen by making sure that there are no open drains or sewers in our locality. If we find any, we should immediately report the same to the municipality. Let's discuss what better housekeeping practices can we adopt. A good way to minimize the sewage water is to check what is going in our drains. If we dispose of our waste properly, we may be able to reduce the sewage. Here are some housekeeping practices that we should adopt. We should throw all the oil and fats in dustbin rather than throwing them off the drain. Oil and fats harden and block the drains. Moreover, it is difficult to separate them from the water. We should not throw chemicals in the drains like insecticides, pesticides, or medicines. They can kill the microbes in the water that help in its purification. We should not throw things in the drain that can block them like tea leaves, food remains, cotton, soft toys, etc. We should always throw them in the dustbin. Next is the sanitation and disease. Okay, under this sanitation and discuss, we can discuss some points that sanitation refers to the health conditions of people related to the disposal of sewage, human excreta, and provision of clean drinking water. Poor sanitation and polluted drinking water can lead to many diseases. Hence, a sanitation system aims to provide a clean environment for us so that we can stay away from diseases. Improper sanitation can give rise to different diseases that arise from contaminated water such as typhoid, dysentery, hepatitis, polio, cholera, and meningitis. The human excreta is a hazard and can lead to soil and water pollution. It can pollute the surface water and groundwater. Hence, people should never defecate in open areas. Next, let's see the alternative arrangement for sewage disposal. It is an alternative for sewage disposal on site. Sewage is being used nowadays. For example, septic tanks, compost pit toilets, and chemical toilets. The on-site sewage treatments use natural procedures to treat and dispose of the wastewater or sewage. This system is suitable in place where there is no central wastewater collection system. The first one is the septic tanks. A septic tank is often installed under the ground in house or buildings such as hospitals. It allows decomposition of sewage from home through the action of anaerobic bacteria. And the next one is the chemical toilets. A chemical toilet has a separate compartment that treats human waste with chemicals and decreases their odor. The next one is the composting toilets. A composting toilet treats human waste with biological processes. The aerobic bacteria are present in a storage tank that act upon the waste and turn it into compost. Many organizations have also installed on-site hygienic waste disposal technology in which the human excreta directly flows into a biogas plant and is then used as an energy resource. Let's see the next topic, sanitation at public places. There are numerous places in our country which are very busy, such as airports, railway stations, and bus depots. Many times, large gatherings such as fairs and festivals are also organized where a large number of people visits. This results in the generation of large amount of waste, and if the waste is not treated properly, it can lead to several diseases and even an epidemic. Hence, we should all become aware and contribute to maintaining sanitation not only in our homes but also at public places. If we adopt certain practices at public places, we can help in maintaining their sanitation. For instance, we should not throw garbage in public places and always use the dustbins. We should not spit around in public place. This comes the end of the lesson, and let's discuss what we have learned in this chapter. Use water is wastewater. Wastewater could be reused. Wastewater is generated in homes, industries, agricultural fields, and in other human activities. This is called sewage. Sewage is a liquid waste which causes water and soil pollution. Wastewater is treated in a sewage treatment plant. Treatment plants reduce pollutants in wastewater to a level where nature can take care of it. Where underground sewage systems and refuse disposal systems are not available, the low-cost on-site sanitation system can be adopted. Byproducts of wastewater treatment are sludge and biogas. Open drain system is a breeding place for flies, mosquitoes, and organisms which cause diseases. We should not defecate in the open. It is possible to have safe disposal of excreta by low-cost methods. Here it comes the end of the chapter. Thank you all.